Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today I just finished watching episode 6 of The Bad Batch. And so today's episode was another kind of adventure of the week type thing, but with an added extra little twist that we finally, as we saw in the trailers for this season, Gungi is back. And so, interestingly enough, it starts with the Bad Batch, who again is the main focus of this episode. We don't have like missing members this time. They're here on a place called the Vanguard Axis, which seems to be run by droids, and there's some kind of smuggling group. I'm not really clear exactly what they do or if we've heard that name before, but it kind of seems like something we should have known of, but I don't know them. Vanguard Axis. Anyways, they have Gungi captive, and they were gonna sell him to somebody. I guess we can assume it might have been the Empire or maybe somebody worse, I don't know. But of course, they're there to just make some kind of transaction. I think they're selling falsified, oh man, what are those identification chips or whatever that the Empire made everyone sign up for? They're selling fake versions of those. That's what the Bad Batch is there for, you know. So they're doing some of Sid's shady dealings, which is what they always do, right? But anyways, basically Omega finds Gungi there, and he's fighting off some of the droids, and so they help him escape, and so now they gotta run away, right? So it's funny, I was thinking about it, I was like, you know, they do all these Adventure of the Week episodes, and they're always like missions from Sid, right? But it seems like the majority of the time, the missions that they get from Sid, they end up failing at. They end up like messing up in some way, and they come home like empty-handed. At least half the time the missions fail, right? So I don't know, if I was Sid, I'd start getting frustrated. I'd be like, really guys, you had like a simple mission and then it turned into this completely other thing. But I don't know, maybe that'll come back up at some point. Anyways, so now they have Gungi. He's a Jedi and he doesn't trust them and all that, which, you know, we knew he was alive from the trailer, right? And so it is cool seeing him, but of course, you know, he doesn't speak basic, you know, which he's a Wookiee, so yeah. But so we don't really get like his story as far as like, was he with a master that died, or, you know, what exactly did he see during Order 66? We don't really get anything like that. We just know that this Vanguard Axis people had captured him. And so, you know, he runs and gets his lightsaber, they run away, and now they're just like, all right, we got to get him to Kashyyyk, which he says he remembers Kashyyyk in his dreams, which makes sense because he would have been, you know, like a toddler or something when the Jedi took him, right? Or was given to the Jedi, you know, that really awkward thing that the Jedi do where they take small children and indoctrinate them into the Jedi ways. Anyways, so they bring him to Kashyyyk, and they mention how, like, well, you know, the Empire has taken control of Kashyyyk, and kind of like how we see in Jedi Fallen Order, which, you know, Fallen Order would take place, what, 4 years after this episode here? So, you know, this is still before, you know, we get Saw Gerrera and his whole group fighting the Empire here. Interestingly enough, and this was definitely something I didn't expect to see, Trandoshans are there with Imperial tanks, and they seem to just be working side by side with the Empire. They said they use them to strip the planet of resources, which is an interesting idea because I think we've never seen that before. Like Trandoshans were not there in Jedi Fallen Order, right? So that was kind of an interesting twist. We also get these spider creatures on Kashyyyk, and these are not the same spider creatures that we fight in Fallen Order, which was interesting. I'll be honest, I was kind of waiting to see the same exact creatures that we fight in the game show up as like obstacles, but that never really happens. And I think it's because, you know, look, one of the things that some people were kind of questioning in Jedi Fallen Order was how, like, you know, we're fighting a bunch of animals and creatures, and like those are our bad guys. You know, like how many animals do we kill? You know, it's like, but we're supposed to be the Jedi. You know, we're one with nature, one with the Force, all that stuff. So it's kind of like, I don't know if that really meshes well. So I think the reason maybe they didn't incorporate the exact same type of creature is because those spiders that they kind of run into on Kashyyyk here end up helping them by the end of the episode. So it would have just kind of furthered that really awkward, like, Cal Kestis is just like killing animals, and that's kind of the opposite of what the Jedi should be doing, you know, that kind of thing. Anyways, but yeah, so they, you know, they find a tribe for Gungi to be with, and, you know, they're gonna be like, oh well, he doesn't know exactly which tribe he's from, he just knows that he's from this planet, right? And they kind of do this thing where they commune with the trees, and they try to take out the Trandoshans, and they get the spiders to help them, and it's this whole thing. And of course, it's like, that's great, but we know that Kashyyyk is gonna go through a lot of rough years, and the Bad Batch isn't gonna stay here, So like, they help them save the day this time, but it's like the Empire comes back and they just, you know what I mean? Like they are overrunning this entire planet, and obviously the Wookiees, they get shipped off to the spice mines of Kessel or something. You know what I mean? So like, the Wookiees are gonna have a really bad go of it, and we don't know what happens to Gungi, because he's here on Kashyyyk now pretty early in the days of the Empire, and we have never heard of him after this. Which of course is kind of like that retroactive, like, well, he was here the whole time, but they didn't know that when they were telling the other stories. So of course it's like, did something bad happen to Gungi? So it's like, once again, we got to sit here and wonder, like, okay, well, he's not there in Jedi Fallen Order, or at least we don't run into him. I mean, it's a big planet. They could always say, like, he's just somewhere else in Kashyyyk. That's why Cal Kestis didn't meet him. But, it does kind of make you wonder, like, once again, we got to be like, what is the fate of Gungi? Because, you know what I mean? Like, he's on Kashyyyk with his people. That's great. But also, that's a really big target that the Empire goes after. So, yeah. Anyways, this was a fun little adventure. They take out some Trandoshans and some Imperials, and they help the Wookiees, and if nothing else, the animated series between Clone Wars and Rebels, and actually, did they go to Kashyyyk and Rebels? I don't know if they did. Anyways, if nothing else, between Clone Wars and this show, Kashyyyk has gotten a lot of love. The Wookiees have gotten a lot of love in the animated series, and yeah, this was a fun little episode, another adventure of the week kind of thing. We got an update on Gungi finally, and but again, like I said, what happens to him now? I don't know, because yeah, Kashyyyk gets hit pretty hard by the Empire. Like they don't have a great time during this era of Star Wars. So yeah, hopefully we get another update. Maybe in Fallen Order 2, or what's it called, Jedi Survivor. Maybe in Jedi Survivor they'll go to Kashyyyk again. It's another planet you can go to, and maybe Gungi's there. He's like all, well, I guess he wouldn't be super grown up. It'd only be like 5 years later. But you know what I mean. Maybe Gungi's there, and Cal Kestis will be like, "Whoa, it's Gungi! Hey, I remember you." Like something like that would happen. I don't know. I'm just hoping now, because it's like, I just need to confirm that he's still alive, because like, it's great that he survived Order 66, but it's like, but then he went directly to a highly targeted planet, and yeah. So, anyways, let me know what you guys think about this episode of the Bad Batch. It was a fun little adventure. They took out a couple people. They're there on Kashyyyk with the Wookiees and the planet and that whole thing. Wrecker, kind of funny enough, Wrecker fit like right in with the Wookiees. He was like, he's drinking all their stuff and eating their food, and he's like, oh yeah, I get used to this, So Wrecker is the closest thing the clones have to a Wookiee, basically. He's essentially a Wookiee himself. Anyways, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.